There we go. Yeah, and also that whenever it resets, it returns off my microphone. Like it's the microphone was active, but it wasn't actually doing anything. It's really awkward. So hopefully everything should be correct now. I have no idea why that has happened, but whatever. I don't think anything really got missed. DT is still going to work. The army, once again, Awake doesn't have an army now. His army is in Corruptors and Lings and a couple Roaches, and that's not going to cut it right now. Granted, Rinchen's army is pretty small as well, but it's much more powerful. It's got a lot of Zealots and a lot of Charge Lots actually with it. He's got +2. He's got some Storms available as well even, so... and he's still just using DTs to harass everything. More and more units getting warped in all over the place. He finally finds one of these pylons, but there's a bunch of Zealots there to take care of that. Corruptor's gonna... What are the Corruptors gonna do? I have no idea. Corruptors are gonna spit some corruption, not gonna happen. Awake's gonna tap out there. GG. And Formless will survive to go on, at least until the next set. So, 4-3 now. Just gonna take a second and look at my router and see what exactly it did that for. Because none of my other internet objects disconnected. Skype stayed alive the entire time. Yeah, so that was just OBS being ridiculous. Neat. Anyway, you're a jerk, OBS. You're an absolute jerk. Oh gosh, Alt-Tab. Why do you hate? So Fortify getting into set number 8. Ugh. My Photoshop micro skills are lacking right now. I'm getting to set 8. It's going to be a gold versus gold PvP on Deadwing, so that'll be interesting. What? In any light. Gonna start this game up now. Hopefully no DCs. Spawning in the bottom right in orange from CT6. It's a Protoss player. And I'm not over on the other... Yeah, I am. Just gonna restart that. Spawning in the bottom right from CT6. It's a Protoss player in orange. It's extraneous. And spawn up in the top right. Also Protoss from Formless Gaming. It is Pulse. PvP, very large map. Pretty good map to abuse the airspace. Go for a Stargate. Make that work for you if you can. We have a very early probe on the map here for Pulse. Curious what he's going to be doing with that. Actually, that's a very early gateway from Extraneous. So that's a 10 gate out of Extraneous. We've got an early probe from Pulse. He hasn't actually made a gateway or anything just yet. Is this going to be... Are you going to like cannon rush? That'd be hilarious. Nope. Going to be a gate. But that's a really quick scout. He's going to be able to see this early gateway. Oh, he's going to be able to see this early gateway. If it clicks in his head... Why is this gateway almost finished? Wait a second. My gate's like at 20%. How's yours at 70%? What you doing? So we're going to see a 10 gate, 3 gate, I assume. I really don't know what else it could be. Unless he wants some crazy early, I don't know. I'll assume 10 gate, 3 gate for a little bit. Until I am proven otherwise. Pulse actually trying to pull off his probes. Had he actually gotten this probe, it would have been a pretty big deal. Because then there would have been, another probe would have had to come out to actually make the proxy pylons. But as it stands, Extraneous is going to be able to keep this probe out on the map and make some pylons at his own leisure. We have one Chrono going down into the gateway for the Zealot. And I imagine the rest will be going into Warp Gate research. So this is a 10 gate, but it's done a little differently. So I'm curious if he's actually going to go up to 3 gates, or if he's going to just stick on like 2 and then expand. But I imagine it will be 3. First Stalker on the way. And so Impulse, despite saying this, he's gone for 2 gases. His Cyber Core is finished up, so he can start making some units to actually deal with this. He's got the gas to make a Sentry if he wanted to, but he's going to make sure he gets Warp Gate Research and a Mothership Core first. And after that, we can just see what he decides to do. First extra gateway is down. Second extra gateway just about to come down here in a second. Does need to focus getting that chrono on that. One extra chrono was used by Extraneous on his Nexus, so this Warp Gate Research is going to be a little bit behind. Wait for the 3rd gate. There's the 3rd gate. And no extra units coming out of this from Extraneous either, so. A few little hiccups in this build. Very early proxy pylon here. Kind of unnecessary for the moment. Delayed this 3rd gateway for a while, delayed the 2nd Stalker for a while as well, but Warp Gate Research is going to finish up at a really nice time, but it's not going to be too far ahead of Pulse's. And Pulse is going to have 3 gateways of his own. So long as he actually prepares for this, he should be okay. In theory, should be okay. But this can be very annoying to deal with, no matter what. So since Warp Gates are turning over now, gonna see 3 Stalkers, I assume, warped in. We got 2 already. Onto the 3rd one once the 3rd Warp Gate actually turns into Warp Gate. There we go, 3rd Stalker. So we got 5 Stalkers versus just a single Stalker, and if this Mothership Core gets sniped immediately, Stalker sees, oh no, Mothership Core, do not get sniped immediately. You are very important. You're gonna buy some time. You're supposed to buy some time. You're not supposed to die. Oh no, there we go. Overcharge does go down, but it may just be too late. A 4th gateway is coming up for Pulse here. He's got 3 finished. He just needs to start making some units. He needs to sit back and make as many units as he can. Dump all of his chrono into those warp gates. Make units. Are you supply blocked? You're not supply blocked. Make units. There you go. 4 Stalkers, 3 Stalkers. Coming up. No chrono being used, however. And he is in danger of being supply blocked. Actually putting a pylon out next to all of those. He wants to try to bait Extraneous into the overcharge. That's not going to happen. Extraneous wisely using hold position. Make sure that doesn't happen. Get out of there. And 1 overcharge shot isn't going to do it. He needs to chrono those gates. There's 1 chrono on a gateway. He does have 4 gates. He probably should just pull his probes now. You're going to need to pull probes to actually help deal with this. There's no way you're holding this with just these 3 Stalkers. Oh, Stargate. Where is the Stargate at? Oh, that's why. Stargate's over here. Stargate's not going to help you now. Probably should cancel that. 2 probes already have died off. The last 3 Stalkers are alive here for Pulse. Stalker's actually going to go after the pylon. I'm not even sure what can come to the Stargate that would be useful. But say la vie. Most everything is dead here for Pulse. He's going to pull the probes now. He's going to get a surround on a Stalker, which is nice. But yeah, this is it's looking pretty grim right now for Pulse, and it's looking like Extraneous is going to wrap up the week for CT6 EU with a nice little 10-gate 3-gate or 10-gate 3-gate Warp Gate Research rush. GG, well played to him, and GG to CT6. They will win the week. We do have 1 more set to go, which will be for nothing more than honor. But that's a good enough reason to cast it, so we'll be going into that regardless. So CT6 EU will win the week, 5 to whatever, does not matter. Will earn themselves a spot in the playoffs for the season. But as I said, 1 more match to go. It is the Ace match, best of 3. It'll be a PVZ. We're going to be starting on Overgrowth. Rock. So getting into this immediately. Spawning here in the top right for Formless Gaming, playing for nothing more than pride. It's going to be Ninja BLT. And his opponent down in the bottom left from CT6 is our Zerg player this week in yellow. It's Indians. Indian. He's played Protoss, he's played Zerg, and he's playing Terran also. So he doesn't really. He's not playing. He doesn't play random. but he will play all the races. So there's that. This is a best 3 within itself, so, you know, we can always see interesting things happen. Interesting setups to the games. Depends on how things go early on and how it actually can screw with anything. Goodness gracious. We're going to see some sort of quick expand out of Ninja. He hasn't really done a probe to make a forge or anything, so I'm likely just going for a Nexus first, expecting the same sort of play coming out of Indian, looking for a hatch first, I imagine. He's kind of dancing through the mineral line there. Indian wisely, he's pulling 2 probes, making sure he can actually pulling 2 drones, making sure he can actually deal with the probe. And it's just not going to get any sort of harassment off there. At least. Indian will be able to get that hatchery down immediately, but without a pull coming down, Ninja's going to be nice and safe to go ahead and take his own Nexus very, very quickly. And Ninja's going to just wait. Going to patrol. Make sure Indian doesn't take a 3rd base extremely fast. Where is... Okay. It's very smart, actually. I don't think about it. I think, of course, he cancels it. This interesting patrol moves coming out of this probe. Just wants to make sure he sees a 3rd base no matter where that 3rd base is, if there is a 3rd base. And he's just going for the good old-fashioned Nexus, Forge, Gate, Pylon, fast expansion. You can't skip the cannon since the pool was a little bit later, but you may as well get it anyway, I suppose. We'll be getting his guesses here in just a couple of seconds. Well, more than a couple of seconds, I suppose. Be formal about it. More than a couple seconds. And the meanwhile, just still droning up. He's not going to make a bunch of lings. He's not making any gases just yet. And no 3rd base. At least at the moment. He's got a lot of minerals. Got a lot of minerals. He's make a couple overlords. He's make at least 1 overlord. Get a little bit of spot poke there. Ninja is nice and well off. He does have a cannon behind this as well, so... he's going to be staying nice and safe from absolutely anything that gets thrown at him for a while here. Probe does get into the main base. It sees that there was no gases taken. He gets killed off by those lings, but that's no problem. Ninja is safe to do whatever he wants back home for a while here. There we go. 3rd hatchery does come down from in the end, realizing that, oh, my opponent's probe did get killed off, so he's not going to be able to see this for a long time. So that's nice, so I'm going to go ahead and just go elsewhere. He's using his lings to scout around. He wants 1 ling out front, and he's using the other ling to just walk around the map, try to find if there was a proxy pylon put down really, really early for any sort of shenanigans going on. So wisely done here by Indians. I don't know where the last rally went. There it is. Anyway, no actual tech chosen by Ninja yet. We just have a stalker on the way. Another probe was trying to get on the map, but it's not going to happen. Not until the stalker's out, at least. The Zergling may get caught out by the cannon. Not quite. Maybe would kill it now. Cutely done there by Ninja. Baiting that ling into the fire of the cannon. Making it get killed off in that regard. Robo facility on the way for Ninja here. No extra gateways first or anything like that, so he's going to be trying to make this work with just the Robo. Again, this is really kind of just old-fashioned play. I could actually be seeing some Mortal Sentry all in. This is a really good map for it. Generally, I mean, it's a nice choke here already. And add in force fields to that. The 3rd hatchery actually adds another easy choke off point. You can force field off this location, force field off here. Really disappoint your opponent and give him a really tough time to actually defend this 3rd hatchery, if that is going to be the case. But still have a while to see if that's going to be what actually happens here. Depends on how much chrono he really decides to spend in onto this rope facility. There's a couple overlords sitting out in the middle of this kind of natural spot here for of Ninja. So if he just takes this Stalker out, got a couple free Overlords. 2 Overlords over here as well, so that could be a big issue. But not for a while at least. I think once Ninja actually moves out, he may catch these Overlords. And he's going to catch one already. There is a single Ling out on the map to help this out, but that's not going to do too much. You know, we do have one Immortal, we got a second Immortal chroned out, we have 4 more gateways in production. I imagine we'll see at least 1 or 2 more gateways. I'm curious if he's going to go for exactly what he's going to go for. If he's going to go for like it's the +1 attack with this, but he hasn't added any sentries at all yet, so he's really low on sentry energy for quite a while here. He's just been going for the Immortals. There we go. 2 Immortals on a Warp Prism. Goodness gracious. That's a lot of gateways. He's going to move out already. Doesn't even bother getting a bunch of sentry energy. He's just going to go for it. Why is he taking the Overlord out before he actually moves out on the map? Every probe that was on the map did get killed. Actually, no, there's a probe on the map, so you could go throw down some pylons as well. There is a Warp Prism on the way, so that's not going to be a big deal even if there wasn't one. But the Warp Prism is just going to help. 5 sentries right now. We got 2 Immortals. We got +1 attack here for Ninja. And he's got a lot of money to spend. He just needs somewhere to actually spend it. First pylon is finishing up out on the map. We got a second one on the watchtower. Warp Prism is probably going to turn over and turn in. Warped in 5 more sentries back at the other pylon. Just going to buy a little bit more time here. And Indian has absolutely no idea this is coming, it seems. Well, he sees the Warp Prism now. Oh no. That's frightening. And Indian was going to take a 4th base. He's trying to get a Spire. Trying to get a Hydra Den. He's got more or less no units out right now. By more or less, I mean he has 0 units. All of those drones get caught out as well. This hatchery's going to die. 20 roaches in production, which is great, but you already lost 3rd hatchery. You already lost 19 workers. It's completely unscattered. Sentry Immortal all in by Ninja. Some of these roaches trying to come in from the 3rd base. That's not going to happen. There's a second 3rd base trying to come in. That was queued up before this attack hit. But it's not going to matter too much. Rocheborn actually gets sniped off. This time warp goes down as well over in this location. So much force field energy left. There we go. 3 more force fields, cutting off half of those roaches, going after some evil chambers as well. Just kind of make this a little bit of an easier situation for the zealots to get in. More sentries being warped in. There are some hydras on the way. If he's able to hold this off, that'd be nice, but holy crap, that donut. There are so many units here. There were like 16 units in this donut. And they just all died. Units lost tab. 5k to under 1,000 right now. That is unreal. Now, this is the best of 3. So Indian is not going to tap out immediately. You may want to try to wear his opponent out just a little bit before he actually completely taps out here. There he goes. GG! Ninja will take game number 1 here at the best of 3. Gonna get into game number 2 as I open Word for some reason. Fingers, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Next map is going to be on Catalina. So, despite losing the week, Ninja could actually even up the map score, which, I mean, at this point of the season, it doesn't matter. But, again, it's just for pride. It's nice to have it, if you can have it. So, getting into this game. Spawning here in the top right, he is up 1 game in this best of 3. From Formless Gaming, our Protoss player in teal, it is Ninja BLT. And his opponent in the bottom left in yellow from CTL Team 6. That's our Zerg player Indians. India just played a little bit too greedy in that last game. He went for those 3 quick hatcheries and did it with relatively little information about what his opponent was doing. All he really knew was that Ninja went for a Nexus first. After that, he knew pretty much nothing that was going on in the main base. Overlords Overload's failing them. They didn't get any information that was actually vital or useful until it was too late. In fact, some of those overloads getting caught out in the middle of the map really was the big issue for Indian. He didn't realize that there was a massive Protoss army on his base until it was on his base. And by that point, it was much too late to actually make a bunch of units and try to defend it. So we'll have to see his response in game number 2 here. The time being, Indian is opening up relatively the same way. He is going to go for a pull first rather than his hatch first in the prior game. And Ninja, he hasn't actually made anything yet, so he could still be going for a Nexus first. Looks like he's going to. I think this is maybe a little bit easier to wall off with. Maybe doesn't need this first pylon, but it's interesting. It's an interesting decision not to put this pylon down here. I guess this is just in case there was like a 10 pull or something. He could quickly put a forge back here and deal with it that way rather than having to walk all the way down, put on a forge, walk all the way back up, put another pylon up, then cannon, etc., etc. But still, we do have a very quick Nexus here with no actual wall up, and he's going to be putting his first gateway. So Nexus first into a gateway against a pool first. This wasn't a hatch first this game. So a lot of early lanes could actually really do a lot of damage here for Indian if Indian recognizes it and actually wants to actually do that. So far he hasn't seen anything. And actually I think if his overlord gets over here and I don't know, if he doesn't see the Nexus, he could panic. But he's eventually going to see the Nexus. But he's going to see nothing at the wall and have that momentary panic until he sees the big teal square pop up on his screen to confirm that there's actually a natural Nexus down. Immediately 4 lings are in production here. Again, there's no wall off here. There's not going to be a wall off for a while. There's no threat of a wall off for a while. So this Nexus is going to be able to be completely under fire for a good amount of time, depending on how much Indian actually wants to put onto this. And for the time being, it doesn't look like he wants to actually do anything. Is he going to take a third base? No, he's going to take a third hatchery. So, not going to opt for trying to be aggressive. He's just going to play a more passive game. Sit back, take his own third hatchery, and see where the game will lead him. No gases just yet from Indian. Obviously, we do have the 2 gases here for our Protoss player. No tech route chosen just yet. He's got a single zealot. He's getting a sentry now as well. We do have 4 lings about to walk on into this main base. The Mothership Core finishes at the most opportune time possible. Mothership Core Microbe will be able to kill all of these lings, I believe, if microbe properly. At the very least, these lings aren't going to be able to get really any kills. At least they should not get any kills. They possibly could, but that would require quite the mistake from Ninja. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. He's actually, oh, okay, Sentry. I don't know what you're doing there, buddy. That was a little strange. Ninja's just content to run around trying to chase these lings with Sentry and with his Mothership Core. He does kill this off, so that's nice there. We have the Roachborn on the way now for in the end. He's got his 2 gases started. He's actually making a spore collar. It's just how blind he is. He doesn't really know what's coming, but it is just gateways. We got going to be 3 gates. We got a forge on the way, and we could possibly go for more and more gateways. That's a huge gateway explosion. Go for something like a 7 gate against this quick third hatchery here from Indian. But Ninja looks like he's going to be going for a very quick third Nexus. And if this isn't scattered and attempted to be dealt with by Indian, this stays up and actually starts getting some probes out of it, that's going to be a huge deal. Right now the workers are still currently even. Indian has been producing roaches actually, so not been making drones. So he may have been a little bit swept black out for a moment. But at the moment, he's not making anything, really. He's sitting on 2 bases. He's only got the 39 workers. I'm curious if he's trying to go Spire last game. He could try to do that again in this game. Allows me to finish up relatively quickly. He hasn't really used gas on much. He's made a few roaches, I suppose. So, guess it won't be. Okay, there's no gas at the natural. I just not noticed that. No gas at the natural. Essentially, that will be seeing Spire. At least if he does decide to make a Spire, that'd be well, I'm not sure why he would do that. It'd be just be silly. So far, all Indian can see is the fact that there's a bunch of sentries, and sentries, well, they're not going to be able to do too much there. Indian hasn't actually scattered out this third base just yet, and it's finished. It's up. It's got a cannon. It's got a wall off of gateways here, so that's not going to be able to do anything. And Indian's going to get in here and see no tech. There's nothing but gates right now. It doesn't even have a Twilight Council. No Robo, no Twilight Council, no Stargate. This is just pure gateway units and economy right now. 49 workers to 46 here. Actually swung in the favor of our Protoss player. He's going to try and kill off this Overseer. It's so close to dying. Nope. Not going to happen. Proxy pylons already started on the map here. Got 4 zealots on the way. Ninja does know about this third base, so he is gonna send some zealots into there. Same time, he is moving across the map. It seems. Oh, he did something. This is just gonna be a big attack. He's got +1 attack finished. He's got a good number of gateways. There's the chrono on the gates, and Indian sees the chrono on the gates, so he should realize, okay, something's coming, right? You wouldn't chrono gates if you weren't going to use them immediately. Ninja is going to be supply blocked if he doesn't start making a few more pylons. One more is about to pop out. Again, we miss the situation of force fields are really good. If he goes directly for this ramp and force fields that off, he's going to trap all of these drones. Those drones are going to die. He's going to do exactly that. Oh, force field. Oh, okay. Well, decent force fields. He does trap a lot of drones here. It's going to be a lot of lost workers, a lot of lost mining time, lost the third base as well, and Indian is kind of in the same position. Playing a little bit too greedy, it seems. Just losing way too much to early attacks from Ninja It's kind of not expecting them. It's a lot of sentries, and you got to give it to him. Who makes 12 sentries like that this early in the game? But when you have just gateway units and all they have is +1, doesn't even have blink right now. We do have Hydras out. He could also try and pull his workers if he wanted to against this, but I think Force Fields are just going to absolutely wreck this. The Force Field's cutting off half the army there for Indians, and I don't really know how well Indians are going to be able to hold this. If he can even hold it. Oh, the BM. Hallucinated Colossus. That is great. Now just go away from the dance. Dance the Hallucinated Colossus, dance them. GG, kind of. Cheesy. Alright. Well, that's that. Whatever. So GG there. We'll make it 7-4. 7-4. What am I even saying? 5-4. Overall maps are 5-5 for Formless. So Formless will just barely miss out on the playoffs. But say la vie to that. Good season for them. A little bit better season there for CT6EU. Going up to 4-3, taking the 4th seed from Group A. Anyway, I've been TBHam. Follow me at TBHamSC on Twitter, twitch.tv/TBHam as well. Of course, go to choboteamleague.com. Sign up if you would like. At Chobo Team League on Twitter, etc. I am ungodly tired, so I'm not even going to bother playing a bunch of music and then turn the stream off. I'm just going to turn the stream off. So, thanks for watching. Later.